Welcome back to It's a Tool Thing with part 3 on the shop truck toolbox tour. So I've got standard 3/8 drive, shallows, 6-point impact, and then 12-point, excuse the dirt. Set goes up to 1 inch. And of course I keep a crescent wrench will do 1.5 inches in there. My bent handle, ratchet, which is my go-to for standard length as far as I'm concerned. A pair of side cutters and a few of these Sun-X. Got the whole set of these Sun-X wobbly impact sockets. I've been very happy with them. I've really been putting them to the test at work. I've used them out in the field quite a bit, but I've definitely been using them almost exclusively in the shop at this point, as long as I have the right size. This here is a snap-on adapted extension, 1/2 inch drive on this side with a 3/8 shank and 3/8 drive on this side. Move down here to our socket drawer. So in the socket drawer here I have my strap style oil filter wrench for large filters. A set of standard and metric semi-deeps. These over here are actually customized Craftsman's. I got some Snap-on, some Max. Pretty much a mixed bag. Got a set of Torx, mixed bag here also. Pretty much the case with everything I own. These are OTC, they've been okay. I don't use Torx a whole bunch, so I really haven't invested in the shop truck in a really high-end set. I use a T45 and a T50, and every now and again a T40. But that's about it. I actually got this as a complete set. Blue Point, I've been pretty good. Especially for the price that I paid, getting them used. These are the standards, up to 3/4 of an inch. I got them in 1/2 inch, 3/8, and quarter drive, and then a few ball. I believe they're 5/16. You used to use those on older PTO mounting bolts, and then they switched to the 12-point 10mm. So you don't see many of those anymore. This actually all came in a box originally, but those boxes take up so much space. This is the metric set, 19mm down to, let's see here, looks like 2.5mm. Once again, they've been pretty good. I don't use Allen's a whole bunch out in the field. This was that socket I bought. Nothing I even use in the shop truck, but 18.5, 19.5. Thought it might come in handy. I've never actually seen swollen lug nuts. We don't seem to see that too much out here in the Great North Wet. This is just a set of Craftsman 12-point standard quarter drive. A Armstrong cut down 5/8 quarter drive, and then I've got a smattering of wobbly sockets here, and then my 12-point 10mm for doing those PTOs, along with the quarter wobbly 12-point 10mm. This is my standard set up to 5/8. I have another one of those. I got a whole bunch of these Armstrongs for a pretty good price for 5/8. It's actually an impact socket. I keep my little extensions right here. That's why I was having problems finding them the other day. I forgot I'd moved them over to this little bin. These holders, they're new to me, but I found them somewhere used. I was running just these same rails. and I've just converted over. And then I've got my long snap-on 72, extra long, I guess. And then my modified Craftsman old race panel. I used to have one of these that was exactly the same. I ended up losing it in a truck. I even know when I lost it, but I searched that truck left, right, and center and couldn't find it. So I had to make myself a new one. It works just fine for being a stubby. And considering I already had it, and out in the field in particular, I worry about losing stuff to a point. Because sometimes you'll drop something in the dirt or the mud, and I mean, you look for a while and you can't find it. If it's something that's fairly inexpensive, you just let it go. This is metric, up to 15 millimeter quarter drive. This one here is a snap-on. I believe pretty much all of these are Craftsman, standard and metric. I have been buying some of the snap-on ones for the shop, but I've never really had an issue with quarter drive Craftsman. I don't use quarter drive as much as maybe an automotive mechanic. On occasion I do. Usually it's because it's a tight space, but it's not my go-to drive size 3/8 is. That's why there's no quarter drive in my carry tote. Move over here. This is a set of my most commonly used crow's feet. Got I think it's, what is it, 1 1/4 inch, 1 7/8, 2 inch, 1 5/8 now that I just added to this set, and then 1 1/2 inch. On one of these little rails I managed to scrounge up somewhere with a little ball detents. I do like them. They keep things organized and keep them from getting lost. This here is a wheel socket, bud style, with the square drive in the middle. Not sure why I own it. I don't even have a gun on the truck, I don't think. Actually I do. I actually do have a wheel gun somewhere. It does belong to the shop though. I've got a 3/4. This is an 1 1/16 sensor socket. I actually picked this up for, I think it was $3, something like that, $3 or $4. It's a Mac. I've actually needed it a few times in the past, so now I've got a couple of them. I've always just used an 1 1/16 socket, but it's nice to be able to use 3/8 drive. This is that new brake chamber socket that I just picked up. I gave the other one to the other guy and put this one out in the shop truck. And I've got a Sun X one in the toolbox, which I did compare them, and the Sun X one's actually slightly shorter, maybe 1/4 inch or 3/8. Next, back here I've got, you can see right here, I actually broke this off. Oops, pardon my finger. I actually broke this one off just driving around in the truck. Not too worried about it. 3/8, 1/2 inch drive, something I'm probably never going to use, especially in 6-point. But it broke off the holder, which kind of sucked. I don't usually have a problem with the holders in 1/2 inch drive or even 3/8 drive, maybe a real small one on those. So this is a set of Craftsman, USA made, up to, I believe it's 1 1/16, and then the 1 1/8 is a proto that I actually got for like $1, and then a snap-on 1 1/4. And then the back row here, another set of Craftsmans. Excuse me. Looks like it's a kind of a mixed bag. These are Challengers over here. This one here is a Mac. I've also got a set of 12-point underneath, facing down, just chrome Craftsmans. Sorry, the tools are kind of packed in here. Not a lot of extra space. Set of Craftsman 3/8 universals. I just cut the end off this holder. Something I really don't need. I actually think I have a set of standard metrics in the next drawer down of Napa Carlisle, I believe it is. But I had these for a while. Can't say I've ever used them, maybe once or twice on a PTO bolt. But I like to keep myself prepared. And then these are what I have for half-inch drive impact wobblies on the shop truck. It's kind of a mixed bag. You got metric over here, 13, I believe 15. I believe it's 18 and 21. Here's another PTO socket here. Another one of these 12.10 millimeter 3/8 drive universal. It's Proto. Got a couple of these. I actually had one of them fail fairly quickly, which I was surprised at. That actually stripped out. Then we just got the more common sizes, 15/16, 1 1/8 over here. Next back is my collection of adapters. Our shop uses 3/8 fittings instead of the quarters like this. We use 3/8 drive. This one here in particular, this is what our shop ones are in comparison. It's the same style as the automotive, but it's in 3/8 drive. So I have a whole set of adapters. When I go out in the field, if I'm using the customer's air on occasion, in their shop or something, I can hook up pump oil or something, not have to run my truck, make noise and cause them problems. Next in the back here, I have a set of Mac 6-point up to 24 millimeter impact half-inch drive with a set of 12-point Sun X facing down, trying to always save a little space. And then I've got deep wells up to 22 millimeter. If I remember right, these are Maco AVD. Yeah. Another flip socket. I have no idea why it's in here. Just something that got set in here at some point. I don't even have flip sockets home. I had a set I gave it to my dad for his truck. Over here I got a set of inverted Torx. Just Lyle brand. Another one of those things I don't use a lot of, but I do like to have them on hand just in case. Nothing worse than not having a tool to get the job done when you're out in the field. And I actually noticed the other day that I got to pop this thing out. It's actually stuck. It's a 1/2 to 3/4 adapter and a set of SK for the most part, I believe. 1/2-inch drive impact sockets up to 1.5 inches. I need to find another one of these, and I don't remember what the metric size is, but at least you can get it in 1/2-inch drive. I use this for disconnecting connectors. You use a jam nut to hold them into the body sometimes, and it's 1 3/16 inches. There's I think it's 42 maybe. It's a pretty good size metric. That fits it fine too. Back here I have a couple of my more common. I should bring out, I got extra sets of these of stud removers. I'm sure it's 10 millimeter and 3/8 are the two stud removers back there. A couple more deep wells. Another Mac adapter. Got a Cummins turning tool here. I actually have a couple of these, but they are handy if you can get to the access so you can roll the engine over by yourself. They do wear out, so I recommend getting a Blue Point snap-on or something you can get warranted. I haven't wear them out as much as I used to, but in the old days I'd go through one of these every year or so. You can see there is still quite a bit of wear on this, but it still works. Slide down to the next drawer here. So this is my Milwaukee drawer. I've got the high torque new version, or at least new version as of 2020. I think they're coming out with some new ones here. The original mid torque. To be honest, I'm not a fan of either one of these units. They're okay. They do work. The high torque's got plenty of power, but it's too bulky and it's pretty heavy. The mid torque in particular drives me nuts. I can't get driveline bolts off most of the time with it. 1/2 inch 12 point. For some reason it just can't break them loose. The gun seems to work fine. They're both off. They both also sound horrible when they get jammed up and they won't turn the faster anymore. I do like having them for out in the shop truck. It's nice not to have to fire up the air compressor and drag air lines all over the place. But they wouldn't be my first choice in the shop. In fact, I don't even take them into the shop anymore. I've had this. This is actually my first one, or my second one, I guess. First one broke the first day I had it. 18 volt compact. This has been a good gun. I like the M12 stubby, but I wouldn't be ashamed to run this one instead. I went ahead and moved this one out there. I do prefer to use the shallow batteries on that if possible. You do get more power out of the bigger batteries, but I found that by putting the smaller batteries in here on this compact here, that you can really maneuver it a lot better, unless you need that additional power. This here is a sander polisher. I'm not a big fan of it. It works fine. It would be nice if it had more RPMs. I guess if it was the die grinder. I have the die grinder 90 degree, and I definitely like it better. But for the most part, I just use it with roll-locks. I don't use it a ton, so it does get the job done. Got one of these battery adapters. Can't say I've used it yet. One of these days it'll come in handy, charge my phone or something. This is something I'd actually like to get a second one of, preferably maybe the long neck. I don't use quarter drive that much, but I like the head size and the weight. And I think with a really shallow adapter on it, you're about as good off as having the 3/8, in my opinion. It's definitely not a perfect tool, but it's not too bad. And I have a couple of these. Not a fan. They're fine, but they're bulky. They're a little heavy. I guess if I had one of these, I'd rather have the long neck version, though I haven't actually tried one. But I just, the only reason I even have a couple of these is because I found them on a sale, used. I bought one brand new. I actually bought the quarter drive brand new, and I kept the quarter drive, but I couldn't keep the 3/8. I just wasn't happy with it. Not for that kind of price. If it was cheaper, as in buying it used, yeah, sure, I'd be okay with that. Extra batteries. Got a fuel hex key driver. Use this quite a bit. Used to drag it in the shop a lot, but I've got the new stubby hex key driver, so I'm pretty happy about having that in the shop. Use it on occasion. It's not something I use every day. And I've got a couple of these bit sets, and I've been pretty happy with them. I can't say I've even broke one yet, but I do use it quite a bit. Not a ton. Pulling dashes apart and stuff mostly. See if we can squeeze one more drawer in. My lunch is almost over. Not a whole bunch in this drawer, I don't think. And then we'll have to hit the other boxes later. Here's that other set I was talking about. This is a 3/8 drive standard diametric universals. Haven't used any of them yet. I need to get them into a holder. As you can see, I paid like 25 bucks or less for them. So I figured it'd be nice. I really just needed the metrics, but I figured what the heck. It's not like I don't like tools. As my mom calls these, the wiggly tool. M12. I actually got this one a long time ago. It's been a good tool. I don't use it a whole bunch, but every now and again on a dash or something like that, it does come in handy. This is the hammer drill M12 fuel. It's been a good drill. It is a little heavy and a little bulky. The air one is definitely smaller, especially the 3/8 one. Obviously, it's a 3/8 chuck. But this is usually my first grab unless I'm going to be doing something like rethreading a module or something, because there's a lot of oil going around and you're doing a lot of drilling. So I'll usually grab the air when I do those. I tend not to use this light much. I need to really put it in service. I don't have any problems with it. I just tend to use excuse me, this one here seems to be my go-to. Got a whole selection of these lights. And this here I actually bought at a yard sale. No battery, no nothing. And I asked the guy how much, and he's like, how about $1? He told me if it didn't work I could bring it back, and I told him if it didn't work I'd throw it in the trash can for him. So for $1 it actually works good. It's not a fuel or anything. It is bulky, but I have used it a few times. I need to buy an air saw. I passed one up, used one here a while back. Kind of regret that decision. It was a nice one in the case. But air saws aren't something I use a lot, so I wasn't enamored to get that thing. But I regret not purchasing it for the price. I want to say it was only like 30 or 40 bucks. I'll just throw this down here. I've also got this M12 light. Once again, not my favorite lantern, I guess they call it, but it does work okay. I tend to like that other one better. I can see where this one would be good if you're working outside and just try general lighting, so you can see, walking around or something. This would probably be better. So this is number 3 on the shop truck tour. I still have another toolbox and a whole bunch more tools to come in the future videos. So please like and subscribe and comment down below. Have a great day.